If he was standing there and I was standing here, who would fit the profile of a paedophile? If argument's sake, we're not saying everyone, yeah? White, middle-aged, man can be questioned here. The man part can be questioned here. Who would fit the profile? White.
Well, I must inform you that my companions testify that I am a white man with an elegant face. They describe the whiteness of my complexion, the whiteness of my cheeks, the whiteness of my forearms, the whiteness of my stomach, the whiteness of my shins, the whiteness of my thighs, the whiteness of my legs, and even the whiteness of my armpits.
Middle-aged.
So for those of you who don't already know, the Prophet Muhammad, final messenger of Allah and the role model of the Muslim faith, at the youthful age of 50, took a bride by the name of Aisha. Now at the time of the marriage, according to numerous sources, including hadiths, Aisha was a little younger than Muhammad at the ripe old age of 6. Not 60, not 16, 6. A 50-year-old man married a 6-year-old girl. But I don't want to give the wrong impression here or anything. It's not like Muhammad consummated the marriage at that time and had sex with Aisha when she was only 6. God, no. He waited until she was 9.
Man can be questioned here. The man part can be questioned here. Who would fit the profile?
Let's look at a passage from Islam's most trusted source on the life of Muhammad. This is Sahih al-Bukhari, number 2442 in the Aisha Bewley translation. I'll post a link to the complete hadith in the description box of this video in case you'd like to read it. In this passage, Muhammad's 9 wives are feuding with each other because his favorite wife, his child bride Aisha, is getting special privileges. She's receiving more gifts than the other wives. So some of these disgruntled wives get together and decide to ask Muhammad for equal treatment. Here's Muhammad's response. Do not injure me regarding Aisha. The revelation does not come to me when I am in the garment of any woman except Aisha. Did you catch that? The revelation, Quranic revelation, does not come to me when I am in the garment of any woman except Aisha. In other words, don't complain about Aisha. Allah gives me revelations when I'm wearing Aisha's garments, but not when I'm wearing your garments. So Allah obviously favors Aisha over the rest of you. Now stop asking for equal treatment. This hadith raises a lot of questions, among them. What in the name of RuPaul is Muhammad doing wearing women's clothes?
I feel pretty, oh so pretty, that the city should give me its key.
The Muslim sources contain more than 30 references to Muhammad wearing women's clothing. I'll include several examples in the link I mentioned. The narration we looked at in Bukhari uses the word thawb, which is like our word garment in that it can refer to a man's garment or a woman's garment. But in context, it's the thawb of Aisha that Muhammad's wearing. Pretty creepy. Some of the sources, however, including Sahih Muslim, say that Muhammad was in Aisha's mirt, which refers specifically to a woman's garment, more like our word dress. The Arabic dictionary Al-Mujam al-Wasit defines mirt as a dress from wool or cotton that is used as an izar, or a cover, by a woman.
I feel charming, oh so charming. It's alarming how charming I feel.
How many levels of horribly disturbing do we have here? 1, Muhammad has a child bride named Aisha. 2, Muhammad has more wives than his own revelations allow. The Quran allows 4, Muhammad has 9. 3, he's not treating his wives equally, even though the Quran commands him to treat his wives equally. 4, Muhammad likes to dress up in women's clothing. 5, he receives revelations when he's wearing his child bride's dress. 6, he uses the fact that he receives revelations when he's wearing Aisha's dress as justification for giving her a special status over his other wives.
I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and gay.
Apparently, an entire generation of Muslim apologists has drawn its Dawah strategy from Ali G. Take Ali Dawah, a young man who insists that if his daughter were to reach puberty at the age of 9, he would tell her, that she's ready for marriage.
If my daughter, if my daughter wants to menstruation, hold on, let me finish. If my daughter reached the age of menstruation at 9 years old, I would say you are ready. What's it? You are ready to get married. However, it's forbidden for me to force her. If she says, "Dad, I don't want to get married," all right, no, but say she does. Say she does want to get married.
If there's fluff on the muff, then she is old enough.
To be fair, Ali Dawah elsewhere qualifies his position by noting that a 9-year-old girl would also need to be mentally, physically, and sexually ready for marriage.
So what do we go with? What's the principle? Look, what's the principle? She has to be mentally, sexually, physically ready, and there's a harm factor.
Now, why would a popular YouTube apologist like Ali Dawah be defending marriage to 9-year-old girls and even admitting that if his own daughter reached puberty at the age of 9, he would tell her that she's ready for marriage? Easy. Ali Dawah is trying desperately to defend his prophet from criticism, and yet he's still too ashamed of his prophet to acknowledge the disturbing truth. Let's take a closer look at the problem. According to the Quran, Muhammad is a good example for Muslims to follow. Allah declares in Surah 33, verse 21, "Indeed, in the Messenger of Allah, Muhammad, you have a good example to follow for him who hopes for the meeting with Allah and the last day and remembers Allah much." Imagine our surprise when we open Islam's most trusted historical sources and read passage after passage proclaiming that Muhammad, Allah's good example for Muslims, had sex with a 9-year-old girl. Sahih al-Bukhari, 51:33. Narrated Aisha that the Prophet wrote the marriage contract with her when she was 6 years old, and he consummated his marriage when she was 9 years old, and then she remained with him for 9 years, i.e. till his death. Sahih al-Bukhari, 51:58. Narrated Urwa, the Prophet wrote the marriage contract with Aisha while she was 6 years old, and consummated his marriage with her while she was 9 years old, and she remained with him for 9 years, i.e. till his death. Sahih Muslim 3481. It was narrated from Aisha that the Prophet married her when she was 7 years old, and she was taken to him as a bride when she was 9 years old, and she took her dolls with her. He died when she was 18 years old. Sahih Muslim 3482. It was narrated from Aisha that the Messenger of Allah married her when she was 6 years old and consummated the marriage with her when she was 9 years old, and he died when she was 18 years old. Sunan Abu Dawud 2121. Aisha narrated, "The Messenger of Allah married me while I was a girl of 7 years." Sulaiman, one of the narrators, said, "or 6. And he consummated the marriage when I was a girl of 9.
Who would fit the profile